talk from Kumkanko. He started this vision some years ago. We actually got registered in 1996, but a community garden. So I wouldn't do a lot of talking. I would let him tell his story for himself and share a bit about community, about our project in Bafut, and what is it that we were doing.
In the spiritual forest. So I'm also sitting in the sun to feel African, because this is how the sun is everything. We'll be making bricks. We cannot make bricks without the sun. Actually, we cannot have light without the sun. Actually, we have a lot of sun in Africa. So it's interesting to make this talk here, because at some point, people believed that Africa was, or still is, the origin of civilization. I learned that from history. But as I was talking about initiation, I think what is happening here is linked to the importance, because community, we hear a lot these days. It's overused word. But what does it actually mean? I wanted to center this discussion about what I understand from the perspective of an African, what community is. So without initiation, the knowledge that was handed down, because with us, God is our ancestors, is lost. And this is great wisdom from Africa that the world is losing. It's also said that without this wisdom, the people perish. In fact, what is happening in the world today is not a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of wisdom. So in this part of the world, there's a lot of knowledge. But I think what we are trying to do with our project, bridging Africa, like bringing Africa to the rest of the world and the world to Africa, it may be important. Because one of the things about community is integration, is interbeing. Because without these interconnections between the bodies of the universe, we can talk of the body water, we can talk of the forest as a body, we can talk of the animals that we are, that we often forget. So these things come together to start giving us an idea about what community is. And the elders who initiated me made two comparisons, that when we look at the other creatures which are lower than man, we would find like ants, like birds, how they behave. And that actually this is where man, because in our tradition we believe that God is in the physical things that we see, like God is the physical side of nature. When we see these things, then we are seeing God. And we can look into God's eyes and we can communicate with God. So from the point where we start to look at the organization of other creatures, like the birds, like the fish, like the ants, like the bees, from our perspective, the elders told us that this is what the white man calls science, and that science cannot be above the knowledge which is present in the universe, like gravity, because we see this, who tells them what to do, the way we humans are told what to do. So it was for me really interesting to start understanding and comparing what I learned in the colonial education, which is still practiced, and what the ancestors told us in our initiation, that if we were going to become responsible adults or leaders, we would have to go through a process of bridging the past because the ancestors carried this wisdom. That's why we have a lot of respect, we have ethical values. So we believed from then that without looking into our history, we have a situation of no past, no present, no future. And that is where we are. Since this was just going to be a little talk about community, I just wanted to paint a picture of what led us to create the love for the land believed to be with us through the land. And that's why we communicate with them through pouring libation to the water, to the stone, to the trees. This was considered primitive. And that's why colonial education was forced down our throats for many purposes. It wasn't about civilization. It wasn't about community. It was about uniformization of the world. And no one would make us believe that this sun is shining here in Portugal. It only shines from here to the rest of the world. So this is probably something about community, depending on our mindset. If we are conditioned by a certain education, by a certain history, to believe that we are the point from where the light is shining into the world. And probably what is happening here is that there are different points that we can connect to actually build community. So we can build community in the natural way by working with nature, or we can believe that the machines that we have made can connect us more, because today it's about artificial intelligence, it's about everything happening on the net, it's about teleconferences. We won't be sitting like this, talking to each other through our masks and wired up by the digital technology. I'm not here saying that this is bad. I'm simply saying that this is the evolution of man. But it has not to be cut off from its history. So the evolution of man to this stage is an advancement which can lead us to total chaos, because so many people are lost these days. Or it can lead us towards actually becoming, transcending to the stage of the God in us, bringing a light to shine inside. I think it's a time when everybody is doing this. I think this is the call of the COVID age. And COVID is driving us mad in circles to find ourselves. And there is no way forward until we reconnect and really see who we are, if we are actually the beings that of nature, or some artificial energy that is going to swirl around to Mars or whatever. I think that it's young people who are present here, because the reason we connect, we bridge the intergenerational gap in our culture to build community, is because the future is the present, and the present is the youth. This is where it's going to work. We are going to make, or we are going to mark. I would then leave the younger person, because this is also, through this talk, maybe it's an initiation for some people who would listen to me and believe, because it's also our beliefs. The missing link in the world order that is being pushed down our throats is actually the cultural and the spiritual. What is happening here is the cultural education. And we need to move into the next, which is still very present in Africa. And when the young people, like Crystal, who is going to talk about how to get ourselves dirty, because we believe that maybe the black continent, it's a dirty culture. So we also have to know that in that darkness, that is where the light, if there is no darkness, there will be no light. So, Crystal, over to the younger generation.
I am Crystal, and
Sun. My name has some connection with the sun, Kunkanko.
us, we didn't prepare the materials, so we would need some people to help us sieve. We would need some people to help us chop up the hay that we would be using, and some people to help us lay the plastic. So maybe we go there actually so that we see as we work together.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Once she takes the hair out, I got
Here a bit, and then I just might
pull that corner.
What do you need this for?
This is manure, yeah, the dung.
It's done?
Yeah, it's manure. I can check, but I don't. Ask for 4 or 5. Two. Okay, I'm gonna go check and see what we have more than we can do because everything needs to be. More now. Yeah, that was
yeah. But then I'll share it with everyone.
Make sure that your hand doesn't cross to the, yes, because with machines, you'll have a guide which yes. But with the human being, it is your mind. So your mind is going to tell you that it's just like driving a car. You don't tell your foot and your hand what to do. It becomes used to the process. So the process is to make sure that your hand doesn't cross, and you can already make this invisible line. And then your hand is working where your mind is concentrating to make sure that your hand doesn't get dented, because it's your responsibility.
I'll just clear up some of the lines.
I'll be gentle and fast first.
So concentration means also that you focus and not talk and not distract. Nothing should distract you from where your focus is. And you put some more energy, and the middle of the machete is the sharpest because that's the force. And now you put force when you cut. If you want to make one straight edge, you have to carry a hand and really cut strong. And the cutlass should be in one position, not moving with the grass.
This is in one position, grass is moving.
The grass is moving, the cutlass is focused on one cutting. It's like a blade saw, but it's not guided. It's you who guides it.
Yeah, we didn't win, so
we come from the south, you are in the north. How are we going to create the new future together? This is a perfect example of what is needed. I gave the example of the spiritual forest, which initiates, because everything is there. In the forest, you see the different systems. A perfect example of systems thinking. All the parts are contributing. It's called also, we call it now in a modern way, inclusive participation. In this case, all the points are there. You see the trees, the tall ones are acting as a support for the climbers and the vines, and the canopy is sheltering those underneath, the delicate ones, from the direct sun, and the canopy nests the birds, and the ants and the insects and the mycelium in the ground. They are interacting in the system in a natural flow. So the systems that we have created are there, all the elements are always there, but they are not flowing as a system. When we have a system that is controlled by nature, the sun can make the water to turn from liquid to gas. And then, of course, the clouds, the condensation, the rain, and it's a cycle. What we humans have done with our education is to dissociate the power nodes. We call them in our culture, like I can translate, song lines. And these song lines are what determine whether the birds flow in a certain direction, whether the ants are this doesn't have a central command. The central command is the whole. So this kind of holistic co-creation, which brings all the integral parts together, is going to form a system that flows. You have a car with a dead battery, everything is there, but the car doesn't move. So we are at the dangerous crossroad in humanity, where we are either going to disintegrate, or together we will find a system that flows. And we all have to contribute to this. The mistake we are making is to believe that somebody sitting in an office and designing it will put it down and then it will flow. And then we are talking about a new normal, which is still the old normal. Everything is connected here. We have the traditional indigenous knowledge, and we have the science. And this is how we move forward. Each time, every culture is dynamic. The technology is there to accelerate. You see that things move faster and faster and faster with the computer. But if we forget that it is from nature that this automation is happening, then we'll fall into the concept of artificial intelligence, which excludes the human being. So we will come at the end of the day with something that fits the perfect situation and satisfies everybody. Because here, the work process is showing itself from the different people, from the environment, and at the end of the day, we will have something that is perfect for what we are out, which is called vision. Our vision is to come out with sun-dry bricks. And we will come out with sun-dry bricks, which are perfect for this weather, perfect for the people who are here, and perfect for the future that we want to do. We know that the natural guidance will lead us to something which is perfect. So this is my own contribution. Yeah. The important thing is everybody participate. Do something. It doesn't have to be instructed by anybody.
No?
You need a bigger hole in the middle.
Yes. We're going to mix it up all over again.
Alright, so it has a stopper, so don't worry. Just because maybe
So we put the water in the middle so that it's easier to
Water.
More water?
Yeah.
Rico gives us everything.
You move to this side, please.
Yummy, yummy. Because what? Oh yes, yeah. Oh, with the legs in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Seems like it's, you're feeling like it's needed. Up. Go down. Go for a walk.
The who and the hands.
You know when you're just being 30% of
Il y a de l'eau, il y a quoi d'autre?
Et là on a mis de la terre, les moules, coming in next. Next. We dance while we... Yeah. Yeah.
That is really people who are doing faster.
With the bones.
Before their breaks, it's kind of fun.
Okay. Important thing is to make sure that it will come out of the foam. Because if you have some lumps which are uniform inside, there will be no problem. Because we are going to make a stove. And grass is a very good insulator. Grass has light weight, so it's going to make our blocks to be light. Yeah. So the bricks will be able to keep in the heat.
Yes.
Yeah. Then the story of man doing the impossible. It's represented in the Bible. The Israelis were asked to make bricks without straw as a form of punishment because they wanted to test them because they said they are the people of God. It was a punishment, but because they put their energy into connecting with the universe was on their side. They actually made bricks without straw, which was against the law. So there is no law that is limiting humanity. So long as we can put our will, collective will, together, we will overcome what is called law. So the law that the straw holds the soil particles so that they don't break. We have fences that were made in the Egyptian time, just soil and straw, and they are standing. They've stood the weather in terms of time. So natural material is the most sustainable material in the world, which we neglect. And this is why indigenous knowledge is important. You don't need to feel it. Okay. Cool.
ready to go.
Yeah. So we go bit by bit.
Sandal.
Yeah.
Possible.
A bit more.
Already.
So when we take it out, the city check and make a
Here.
corner and be one.
Wash it.
The slot. There we go.
Oh wow. Screws here. 2 screws missing. Okay, I will bring the screws and
Okay, shall we
that one
just
again.
hold it?
hold it for now, for this
Okay,
time.
for one. Okay, I have.
Yeah, this one's okay.
Here's one that it's okay. Okay, I will bring a drill and screws. Here's one more.
We need a bit more clay here.
24. 24 to touch down that one.
Yep.
Only for the spacer. No big drain also. There's only drain now. Okay, the spacer.
You can make so be two-sided so it gives space.
If you can just be putting and one person is pressing, it will go faster.
And maybe we leave this place free.
Yeah.
No, you can just put it here. No, unlike this place should be free because the person putting the mold will be putting here, and if there's somebody here,
I bet you want to go around.
You want to put it in?
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't want to touch the mud. I don't understand.
The information that's going to be in the house or whatever it's going to be.
That's what we call love in Africa. With how much love did you put, like the coat of many colors, like how much love did you sow into the earth?
Ball, someone. Yeah, I think you should rescue it.
yeah, but
If I have some time, I
this can
will.
move.
Here.
Okay, no, there is no weight now, so you can see how smooth it is. Yeah. Quality control now. Yeah. So it will become like really shiny and smooth.
I don't know about this one.
So you want to
Everything is okay down there. So we take a deep breath and then we go to the next phase. That was and then the next verse. Yes, Ujimdamuni. The thing is that white people do not understand what honor God means. Unfortunately, if you see us, we do it like this. We honor the gods. So there's another rhythm, which is like you need to practice cautions to enrich the present. Jumping around.
And just you hit it because when you hit it, it helps.
If you're taking that, meanwhile I fill it, I put it there, and so they can continue from the bucket. We will end up in a common.
Yeah, she's doing it. She's hitting it. Yeah.
Yes, instead of criticizing the other way, do one.
Yay!
Yes, you see, once there is eye connection, heart connection,
And is this enough flattened?
Yeah.
it's not about how fast we are, it's about how efficient the system is going.
And what will this become?
Sun-dried blue.
No, but this, what you will do with it?
Make an oven.
Oven.
For pizza. Pizza oven.
Nice.
Yeah.
L'amour, comme ça. Yeah.
Then after the workshop, we can hug everyone.
Take care of your feet.
So you can regulate it by your
Come on.
If it enters your hand, it is full.
You're very efficient.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be.
Okay, maybe you can do this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Do this smaller. The monsters are not as big.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well. Maybe we can shift the buckets a little. The bucket.
Out of here to keep the line.
Watch out.
Yeah. Love. Press.
Yeah.
Like that's not a good idea. No. Down. It can easily end up in a...
You put example and smoke in the
One more.
A little bit.
El mensaje es el amor. Amo a la tierra como a mí misma. La tierra es amor.
El mensaje es el amor.
Let's make some fun signs. Tu peux faire une petite sculpture si tu veux, la faire sécher et la ramener à la maison et la garder.
Oh, in the next day.
Check
Check with Annie when that comes.
Yeah? Okay.
Please, let's